Hello, everybody, and thank you for once again tuning into the Iron Purpose podcast. This is episode 9, where I get to speak with my very own brother, Jonas Boelter. We get into his growing up, different things that he went through from when he was a little kid, kind of into high school, and then after that, different career changes and different things that he's gone through, and just kind of navigating the middle of life right now. Just trying to figure out what the next steps are, looking back, how to move forward, and just how to be the best possible version of himself that he can be. We get into his 2024 and different things that he wants to do moving forward, and to see what the end of 2025 looks like for him, looking back and see if it's different or what happened. So it's going to be cool to see his journey. It was a very fun time, very good episode. With that, this is episode 9 of the Iron Purpose podcast featuring Jonas Boelter. Stay sharp, everybody.
Jonas,
Bailey.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm great.
It's been I keep teasing that you're gonna come on, and people are like, "Yeah, whatever," and here we finally are.
Here we are.
In the flesh.
It's been a long time coming. So here we are.
Yeah, former, well, not former, I guess maybe it's just dormant podcast host.
Yep, dormant. Dormant is a good word. It might come back at some point in our lives, but
it is currently hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
It's in. I don't know if you can call it a hiatus if you're no longer in the hiatus. How does that work? If you're in the middle of a hiatus, is it a hiatus until you're done? Because when you come back, then you'd say we took a hiatus. But say you never come back, so you're just dormant. You're just dormant.
It's like a volcano. It could erupt at some point, but we'll see.
Ooh, okay, all right. I like that. Good analogy. Yeah, but Dry Fire Podcast co-host right there, Mr. Jonas Boelter. He is my brother. I always refer to you guys as like my younger brother Noah, my younger brother Ethan, my younger brother Jonas. You're all my younger brothers, so it's just brother Jonas.
Yeah.
The Jonas brother, some may say.
I haven't heard that one before.
I hope I'm not too bright. Courtney got me this fancy light, as you guys can maybe see in my glasses, for Christmas. So adding it up, we're getting fancy over here.
Yeah, because I can see the rings if you look up.
I have to look up.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised the glare's not as bad. It used to be pretty interesting when you look into the camera. You can kind of see it, but.
Are you on a computer or like a phone or
a laptop?
Laptop.
Yeah, I'm on Courtney's older ones, and her setup is right across from me.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm in a previous guest chateau.
Don't say who it is.
No.
If people know, they gotta put it in the comments. Make it interesting.
Smash that subscribe button. You might get a Iron Purpose sticker.
Yes, and that's one thing I have not announced at all. I do have some stickers. I have some patches as well. If you guys are interested in getting one, repping the brand, I'm trying to figure out a way to get some hats as well. So if anybody listening has some good ideas of where I can do that, I've looked at like a couple. I don't know if I can say what I cannot say. For his hat, as far as
brands,
I brands, hats, talking, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you get an Iron Purpose tattoo, Bailey's Venmo will be right here. He'll pay for it.
If I didn't already have a knight tattoo on my arm, I would maybe get one. But it's the same thing. It's just him in a different pose.
Maybe
very similar. Yeah, but no, back to what I was saying. If you guys have any ideas on merch, like where I could get some good inexpensive items at decent quality, because there's one company that said, this is what we got. It looked really sweet, but it would be like $700 to order 24 hats, and I was just like, I can't do that. So maybe someday down the road. There's a couple local companies that I might try to go talk to see if I can get some hats, but big hat guy, and it's got to be a good hat.
Oh, yeah.
I can't rock a not good hat.
What are we at hat total? Do you think combined?
Oh man, well over 100. I think you have 100 alone. Last I checked, I had like 90 something.
Yeah, last time I counted was 113.
Sheesh. Yeah, I think last I counted it was 80 or 90, and I just got a couple more recently. Well, I got that Purple Vikings one for Christmas from Mom, so So yeah,
Got this one for Criminus from you.
Criminus,
Criminus.
the boys.
Always.
Yeah,
No free
I
shout
love
out.
hats. No free shout out. So obviously we grew up together. What are some of your favorite memories growing up with whether me or the other brothers, just from growing
Favorite,
up? You got anything?
some like probably football in the backyard. That was a very important part of our lives, I think.
Isn't that funny? How
Backyard football, yeah.
how football and a backyard could be an important part of somebody's lives.
hmm Yeah, that probably played games, Xbox, beating Halo in one day. That was fun. That brings
Sun
me
up to sundown.
Yeah, all those
Uh,
games. What else? Football for sure. Games. A lot of games. A lot of competitiveness with four boys now, so.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it really was. I'd be all-time QB, and then Ethan would be all-time defense, and then it was pretty much you versus Noah, and
Yeah.
it was pretty competitive. It was. I wish we would have taken stats or like
Yeah.
kept a log of
That
who had the
career
most
was.
wins. Yeah, what the career was.
That'd be funny. Funny to see, look back. Yeah, that'd be cool. Something maybe we'll have to redo it.
Run it back,
Yeah.
or tell our kids to do it.
hmm
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy how fast time flies. How we go from playing backyard football to I guess last night we got together to watch a football game last night, so that was a good time. But how fast things happen. I don't think people really. I think people take for granted all too often how fast time actually does fly, and like you think it's my brother, it's my family, they're always going to be here, but nobody knows the time or place. So I think it's just really important to soak it in while you got it, while you have the relationships you do have. And
No, I agree. I 100% agree with that.
I was talking to another guest on the podcast. It was a while ago. He may or may not be in the same house as you right now.
I'm in
We
the I'm in the lot.
you're in the loft.
Yeah.
Growing up as brothers, do you think that helped shape the relationships that you have today with other people, or not really?
Oh, 100%. Because I'm
Yeah.
super close with the boys, like Papa, Martin, Spunk, Bird, Grant. Like, yeah, there's definitely a brotherhood there that
Mhm.
they obviously it's not the same thing as blood, but you can
Right.
I'm definitely really close with them, and yeah.
I think another thing like about growing up with brothers and being as close as we have been, you kind of have the resilience of when relationships kind of fall apart a little bit. You have more patience to make amends.
hmm
Like if you have kind of falling out with a friendship, like trying to reach out and get that friendship back, or like if something happens, you're more willing to forgive. I think a little bit because you're so used to growing up being around brothers and butting heads and say we're fighting or whatnot. Like we could go play football and there could be a bad penalty and all of a sudden you and Noah start freaking out and fighting each other and then I get involved and then we're all fighting and whatnot. And fists are flying and people are getting thrown around and then like mom calls, time for dinner. We're like, no, all right. Like dust it off like nothing ever happened. Our shirts are all ripped up. We're sitting there and whatever. Blood,
Yeah.
sweat, and tears, and we're all just, right back into it. Hey, want to go out? We got probably 20 more minutes of daylight. Want to go back out there? It's like, yeah, all right. After we just freaked out at each other.
It's funny that you like brought that up, like freaking out at each other, because one of my coworkers, he's like, "Do you ever get like fist fights with your brothers?" I was like, "Not all of them, but Noah. We had a rule, no face, but we just body shot each other, just full speed, just punching each other, and then after they're like, "All right, cool, yeah, I'm cool." Like, "All right, sweet. You wanna go play COD?"
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we're fine.
Or we'd be like wrestling in the living room, and mom would be like, "Stop! You're gonna break something," which we did plenty of times. But
Mhm.
it would always it'd start out for fun, and then somebody would be choking the other one out, or we'd be getting thrown around, and you could hear people start to yell. And it's like, all right, time out.
Yeah, definitely some broken stuff in the house, some doors.
Oh,
Tackled Noah
yeah.
into a wall. Most recently, Noah tackled me into the vanity upstairs and broke a vase that Mom got from like 30 years ago.
What was that? That wasn't over Christmas, was it?
Yeah, last Christmas. Not
Oh,
this
last year.
but last 2 Christmases ago.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
she's like, "You're gonna break something," and Noah slammed me into it. Shattered into a million pieces.
Oh, I can think of so many things growing up too, where there was like in mom's room. I remember one of our family friends broke a lamp in there. Another family friend threw a Nerf sword. Was it a Nerf sword that Swanee threw into the wall?
Mm-hmm. Threw it down the
I think-
stairs and Noah and it just stuck into the wall.
I think Tyler Smith did something similar too. He threw a weapon of some sorts and it smoked the wall, like right as you go down the stairs to the right there.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty sure there was something like that.
Yeah.
Or weren't you jumping up? Or somebody was jumping on a bed in Ethan's room now and jumped backwards into the wall too. Or somebody threw somebody. I think you threw Noah or vice
I knocked
versa.
Noah into the wall. Yeah, because we had the bunk beds in the middle of the wall. And he pinned me down. I was on my knees, so I grabbed his legs and just slammed him into it. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh no. Big butt size hole in the wall. Like, Dad's gonna kill me.
And that's another thing too. Like we grew up sharing rooms until I think it was eighth grade when I went downstairs. I shared a room with Noah upstairs, and you shared a room with Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
How does that correlate to who you are now? Do you think that has anything to do with any patience that you have, or like I was gonna say tidiness, but we don't have to go there. But
No, it's bad. No, I think it probably does. I mean, you probably pick something up from it, like patience. At times, not to throw Ethan under the bus, but when he was a wee lad, roll over in my baby blankets, had pee on him. Like, dude, are you kidding me? Yeah, so it's like,
you peed the bed. Yeah, that was
yeah,
when he was really young. We all done that. I've been there.
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%, but yeah, that shit, yeah, we shared a bed and then got bunk beds. Then I moved downstairs, finally.
Yeah, there's a point in time where it's like, all right, I need to move downstairs, and that was where I was at when I ended up moving out. Like we're all sharing everything, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like I just got to get out of here.
Yeah,
It's just time. There's times.
I do need to do that.
Yeah, there'll be a time
Get
and
out
place.
now.
See, that's the thing. A lot of people think there is a timeline of how things are supposed to be done and when they're supposed to be done. And another reason why I wanted to get you on the podcast is because I feel like there's some people that I talk to who are really immersed in what they're doing, and maybe they're really successful in a company, or maybe they're like a professional UFC fighter, like I've interviewed. And but I think you're a kind of guy who right now is in the middle of whatever it is you're trying to figure out and what you're trying to do. Like you're kind of in the middle point of you're out of high school, you kind of didn't really know what you wanted to do for college, and you landed yourself to where you are now, where you're at now. Sorry, but you're just kind of in the middle. Do you kind of feel like you're in that spot right now?
Oh, 100%. It's
Yeah.
kind of it's like not knowing where to go, what to do, what's
Mm-hmm.
what's the next step. That's kind of, yeah, 100% where I'm at. Trying to
Right.
figure
Right. Because people say, hey, just I know where I started and I know where I want to be, or I know that everything's going to be fine. If I have the faith, if I trust, if I just keep working hard, I'm gonna get to that point. I'm gonna achieve it. But it's like, well, what do you do in the middle? Like when you just you're not sure. Like
out.
even if you are a motivated person, like it is really tough to try to find that out. So I think that's something we'll kind of touch on and get into here. But for those who don't know who you are, before we get too off topic and out of the way, if you wouldn't mind just kind of sharing a little bit about yourself, maybe kind of what you've gone through, positive or negative, growing up, and we'll kind of stop, kind of like I said, and maybe touch on a couple things and dive into a few things as we go. Um, because yeah, like I said, I feel like you are one of those guys who's right in the middle, and you're thriving, but you're still just trying to find your spot. And I think a lot of people can relate with that. And maybe there's people out there that could give advice to us both. And that's kind of the goal of the podcast is to hear from people and try to relate to it. And I think there's a lot of people out there that can relate to where you're at in life right now. And you are still succeeding, even though you're not maybe where you think you want to be or where you want to be right now. But before I get too much more off topic, take it away.
Okay. Yeah, so Jonas Boelter, I'm Bailey's second brother that was born into this world.
Me, Noah, yep.
Yeah,
Second.
second, yeah, so yep. And then yeah, so I was born with alopecia. There's no hair in your body, no eyebrows, no eyelashes, no hair, nothing, no arm hair. So yeah, that definitely threw some curveballs. I guess I don't personally remember it, but I was at the U of M like a ton, getting studied. Like nobody knew what was wrong with me. Like dad would push me around in the at like Target. They thought I had cancer. Now like, he's fine, he's not dying. He just doesn't have hair.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that came and gone. Or yeah, it came and went from like obviously from when I was born to about middle school. Maybe a little, yeah, middle school. And
You don't you don't really hear a lot of people having that, especially back then. It was kind of like I had never heard of it. Obviously, I was a lot younger, but it would have been kind of cool had you known about like Josh Dobbs or
Yeah.
like who's that Shazier? I think it's Ryan Shazier
Mm-hmm.
from the Steelers. Those
Yep.
guys have it too. It'd be cool to kind of learn from their story and see how they handled it because you got your hair. They still do not have theirs. So
Yeah. I remember like, yeah, when you go to like the doctor and like I had super bad eczema too, so like skin was. I'd wake up, scratch my arms, and they'd be bleeding, or my hands. That's kind of gone too now, but obviously my hair's back too. But
yeah,
it's still thin, super thin, but whatever. We're rocking a little mullet right now.
heck yeah.
But yeah. So like when I was little, like it was like steroid foam they would have to rub on my head, and then like they want to do like shots in my head. Thank God we did not do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now it's back. Who knows for how long? It could come back, but
Well, with our hairline, it'll be gone before we're 30.
yeah. We'll be taking a trip to Turkey.
Getting some implants.
Yeah. Well, yeah. After like middle school, well, I started like soccer and basketball, middle schoolish, and then played that all the way up through high school and graduated playing sports.
Before we get too far, were you always in school?
No, yeah, I forgot. I was homeschooled. I was homeschooled till second grade.
Let's dive into that a little bit. I was homeschooled until seventh grade, but as a second, you were homeschooled until second grade. Do you remember much of it or not really?
I remember doing a lot of nothing. It was like hanging out. That's honestly screwed me up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I almost got held back like my first year, second grade. They wanted to hold me back, but it was like with all like I had a few friends in that class, so they pushed me along. But mom's not a great teacher. Right, I got
No, she is. They both were. I mean, they meant well. Mom,
oh yeah, 100%.
God
I
bless her soul.
definitely got their spelling skills. So
You have to have spelling skills in order for them to be spelling skills.
yeah, for real. But
Yeah,
no,
I feel like I would agree. There was a lot of adapting. I couldn't imagine having to go in from what you had to second grade to kind of be like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Because for me in seventh grade, it was like, all right, time to take notes, and my teacher would just start talking and going through the book, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know any of this. Like, this isn't how I was taught. I was just, my mom taught me. I did my homework. We took the test, and we, moved on to the next. And the structure of school was definitely interesting to try to get into it. And it's funny because like we grew up, like mom would use that as like a threat, like we're gonna call the school and we're gonna bring the school bus here and you're gonna start going to school if you don't listen. I'm like, oh crap,
yeah,
please don't take us. And we would devise plans of like what we do if the people came, if like the school bus came and they came to take us, like we thought they were gonna, holding out at the door or hiding or something. Like they're not gonna get us. And then we ended up going and it turned out to be fine. But
yeah, it turned out to be great.
so what was that experience like?
Like
Because you,
well,
yeah.
I remember some of second grade, but like not a ton of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was awful student. Like I was bad at learning. I'm not a school. I'm not made for school. I'm not made to sit in this classroom. So I hate that stuff and that transition to college. But that's a little ahead of the story. But
Yeah. So you talked about basketball and soccer a little bit.
mm,
What got you into those? Because obviously, in you and myself, like I'm not a huge basketball soccer fan, and we didn't really play it much growing up. What got you into it?
all the guys were doing it. All my friends moved to a small tiny Christian school, Lake Region. So it's your two options are basketball and soccer. So let's just do both of them. And I feel like out of like the four of us, I don't like toot my own horn, but I definitely got like that athletics all around. Out of you, like you're better at football. Noah's smart.
Shout out Noah.
Yeah,
He's the
Noah's
favorite.
yeah. Ethan's like mechanically inclined. He's very
He really is.
Trish, like
Yeah.
Grandpa Bob. But I got the athletics like basketball, soccer. I could play football, golf. Not great at it, but
No, I would
I
agree.
wish would have got a little more of those smarts, a little bit more of that brain juice. But
Yeah,
whatever.
no, I went to Noah.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed basketball and soccer for the camaraderie part of it, and that's funny that you bring that up, how Noah, he's super smart and whatnot in his own craft. We all kind of had our own craft. But for me, it was just like the people, being around the people and learning from those guys and wanting to fit in with those groups and learning from like Coach Miller in basketball and Coach Jensen in soccer. Like they were just like legends. Like to me growing up, like wanting to be on those teams, like
Oh yeah, 100%. Like watching, like obviously you're closer to age of Daniel, but like
mm-hmm.
I was so much younger, so watching like Daniel and you and Caleb out there, it's like I want to beat them. I ended up taking Daniel's soccer number, but I didn't get his basketball number. But yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah.
If I could go back to school, the only reason I would go is because of sports.
Mm-hmm.
I miss being part of a team. That's why I love kickball and volleyball so much. You get to be part of a team for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That camaraderie. Yeah, shout
Mhm.
out kickball. If you have never played in an organized kickball league, I highly recommend it. Anybody listening, it
It
is.
sounds really dumb, but it's a blast. And I
Did you
take it way
say?
seriously.
Yeah, I think you take it appropriately because it's a time to get amped up and play. And like some people do get butthurt or upset. They're like, why is he needs to calm down. He's cheering too much. It's like he just kicked a home run. Like it's just made his whole night. Everybody's cheering. Like the feeling that you probably feel when that happens. Like
Yeah, like I just got all the way around the bases to home before he even touched the ball. So yeah, I'm gonna freak out.
because it feels great. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
that's so fun.
And to be honest, soccer probably sets you up to be as good as you are in that because you not only bounced around from different positions, and I also thought it was super cool, like because my senior year, you and Tim Moody were really good assets to the team at a young age. I think you were like seventh grade, and I was in my 12th grade year, I think, or was it eighth grade? You might have been eighth grade.
That was right before the cut to get into. It was eighth grade because ninth grade is freshman.
And ninth grade, I think Noah. No, wasn't Noah? Noah was a freshman, so maybe you were seventh grade.
No, because I was an eighth grader. Noah was a 10th grader. Because Noah was 2 ahead of me.
You're right. Yeah, Noah would have been. Yeah, Noah's just
And
two.
you were 2 ahead of Noah.
Yes.
Hmm.
But I remember it was really cool to be able to play with both of you on the same team and have that experience, like growing up playing football or whatnot in the backyard and having that camaraderie to playing high school sports together. That was pretty sweet. Those are memories I'll always have. And I actually found my captain band from soccer when I was a senior. I probably should have thrown it away, but I was like, it's really sentimental. It means a lot. Like just there's so many memories tied behind it. Even though it's just a raggedy piece of material with some letters on it. Like
I didn't get one of those, and I was very pissed about it. Yeah, I remember my senior year of soccer, I almost quit so I could play more kickball.
Oh, that's right. That's when you were a goalie, though. That was so much fun to watch. Were you a goalie your senior year?
Only junior year.
Okay.
Dave was coach, and he was like, "You're the only one that could do it. Like, please." And I was like, "Dude, fine."
I've got some sick highlights on my phone from when you were playing. I might have to attach it to this video, but yeah, that was a blast. That was so much fun watching you guys play. So after, let's see, where are we at now? So after high school, what were kind of your thoughts as you're going through high school with what was next? Were you thinking about school moving forward, or were you just kind of living in the moment? Or because I think for a lot of people, when they're in high school, you can kind of think of what you think is going to happen, but you don't really know until you get there. And I'm curious to hear what you kind of have to say about that.
Yeah, so like you talk about like high school,
High school.
after like 8th grade. So freshman year is when our parents got divorced. So
Mm.
that kind of derailed the brain for a second. You were in Florida. Me and Noah weren't like super close at that time. So yeah, it was weird. Cause like like your buddies would come over like, oh, like where's this person at? You're like, what do I say there? You're like,
Mm-hmm.
like you want to be that cool kid. You're like, my parents are together. You never think it's gonna be you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Make some lame
Right.
excuse up just to try to fit in. But like, yeah, so that definitely was a challenge. And then like, I don't know. So like, yeah, because I'm a daddy's boy. Everybody knows that. And shout out mom. I love mom to death. Me and mom are very close now. Did you freeze? Okay, it looked like you froze. Me and me and mom are closer now than we probably ever have been.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like growing up, our dad was a cop. So he would get ready to leave. He'd hop in a squad car. I would stand at the top of the hill, and at the front door, watch him pull out, and then I'd run super fast to the other side. I'd look out towards the road, watch him pull down, and then watch him as far as the lights could go. So that was definitely a challenge. Like after he left, but kind of like a missing person, and then you were gone. Like, what do I do? Like, how do I function? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, because I wanted to be a cop for so long, and it's like, okay, that's the goal. That's the next thing. Like, go after that. So that's what I did after college. Made it made it a whopping semester, and I was like, no, school sucks. I am not gonna do that.
Do you think it was because of like the job itself? You just found yourself not wanting to be in the field anymore, or the school part of it was just a big turnoff for you, and you just got to the point where you didn't want to be in school anymore.
Oh, school, 100%.
Yeah.
Because even while I was there, like I wanted it, I still wanted to become a cop, but it just like sitting there during what class was it? Like the history of jails.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And what's funny is I hated those classes too, the corrections ones that talked about the jails, and I was like, this is not applicable. I don't want anything to do with this. Not a chance in the world. Well, joke's on me. I'm a correctional officer, and I
Yeah.
love it. So I wish I would have paid attention to that part of it
Yeah,
a little bit more.
yeah, that applies to you for sure. But yeah, I was sitting there. There was one day I got yelled at. I was nodding off. It's like, yeah, we're gonna watch the history of a jail for the next 3 hours, and it's in black and white.
Right.
Mr. Boelter, if you're gonna nod off, go stand on the back. Like, nope, I'm good. I'm not going back there, dude. That's crazy. I
You know what? On second thought, I'm just gonna drop out. Don't tell me what to do,
yeah.
man.
My first day, they're like, they do roll call, or whatever. Like, Jonas Boelter here. I'm like, yeah. They're like, you Bailey's brother? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, big shoes to fill. I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back.
Whatever.
No, I didn't. Not at that point. It was like, yeah, watch me. But
Yeah.
definitely after, like, towards the end, I was like, I made it a semester, found out it wasn't for me. I'm out. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back to washing windows. But
So you graduate high school, you go into college, you're trying to get into law enforcement, and you decide it's not for you. So what are the next things that are going on? You move into cleaning windows. How does that pivot to your career now? And as what do you call yourself? You work in construction.
yeah, I'm just an employee now. Because I was
What
I
do you
was
call?
I was subcontracting for a while,
That's right,
but I would like my title would be like carpenter. But we do like
carpenter.
everything
Yeah.
that we can do.
Mm-hmm. And you kind of bounced around from a couple different places. Do you think just those jobs, each one you learned a little bit here and there, and it kind of guided you to where you are now, and now kind of here you are, still trying
Yeah,
to.
100%. And I think because like my first job, same place your first job was Grandview, the local resort, and that well, I bounced around like crazy there because I just followed my boss, the guy who trained in Kelby. I just followed him.
Right.
It was old pool at like 14, and then grounds, which is like garbages, fires, mowing, weed whipping, just random stuff around the grounds. And then he went up to North Park, the new pool. I was just like, "Could I come with?" He's like, "Absolutely." Like, sweet. Transfer me. So then yeah, I went up to the new pool, and then in between that, I would hop back and forth in between like the waterfront, driving boats for pontoon cruises or whatever you call them.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff, just working in there. So like that was a lot of people experience or people pleasing.
Customer service.
Yeah, customer service. You learn a lot from that for sure, especially there. There's you
Right.
get a lot of different people, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
different attitudes.
That is a good point. You know, you learn a lot from. Yeah, you get people from all walks of life, all walks of. Is whether it's the family that saved up some money to go get away from the weekend as a family, their one vacation a year, or it's the people that are there every other day of the members, people from different parts of the world, whether it's overseas or different parts of the country. Like you saw it all, so it's kind of cool to have that, to be able to interact with different people at different times. It does really help, and I think Grandview helped me too with my like interpersonal skills with people and communicating with people, because it's like you have to, like, for your job. If you're crabby there, you're not going to get a tip. You're driving people on a boat and you're just a sour patch kid the whole time. Like they're not going to give you a tip.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy how many people like that I've run into in like in my life. They're like, "Oh, I worked at Grandview." Like, when? Like, we definitely overlapped, and I've never even seen you. Like
Right.
Me and Martin overlapped just a little bit, but I met him at the gym. Now he's like one of my best friends.
That's super funny when it clicks that his sister worked with Courtney and I,
Yeah, yeah.
Janelle.
Hmm.
And we're like, wait a minute. And once I realized that and I saw his face, I'm like, holy crap, yep, you are her brother.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like two of my other best friends I started with when I was 14
Mm-hmm.
there.
Right.
So yeah, that's cool. And then so after that, like we grew up washing windows with dad.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was like a skill in the back pocket. And then Cody, her cousin, he started working for Casey. He's like, "Yo, come join the dark side. It's really cool." So I left Grandview at COVID. I'm pretty sure. I think maybe that was winter, because I definitely watched. I was like 18 when I started with Casey.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, yeah, I was right. It was because I would have been 18. It would have been senior year. I just finished
Yeah.
school,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then like 2019, like 2020 was COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or end of 2019.
And in 2019 into 2020, yeah.
Yeah. So then I was just there like, yeah, you're let go because we can't legally like have you here anymore. So I was like, all right, I'm not coming
Right.
back. Like, it's time. It's time to go. And I remember I find that funny because um before you and Courtney were married, I worked with her at the boathouse too, and I was sitting there with her and the other Courtney, and they were like in their 20s, and she was like, "So like, what's your plan after college? Like, you to come back here?" I was like, "Pfft, why would I do that?" She's like, "I don't know. Like, it's a job." It's like, yeah, I was like, yeah, but like, Great Reason not like a job you come to back to after college, and they were both like, yeah, I'm like, oh, my bad.
And they had both just graduated college.
Yeah, that's on me. Sorry. So
uh,
yeah, so I had that skill of window washing in my back pocket, so I hopped on with Casey. I did that for quite a while. Slowly, like, learned more. Learned. I wouldn't say he taught me how to wash windows. I'd say he gave me cool new ways to wash windows, more efficient ways. I
mm-hmm.
give Dad all the credit for teaching me how to wash windows, but I give Casey credit for refining my skills.
Right.
And like kind of like he put a lot of work ethic in me because it was not fun for a lot. It was 15-hour days washing windows.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was great money. I can tell you that. And
He
that
is
kind of,
really. Go ahead.
I said, and that kind of like, cause like I would start out with a crew, like I was on the crew, and then it'd just be like me and Cody, and then slowly he's like, "Hey, you want your own crew? You're running the water fed pole. You have a minion now or a guy with you." So that's kind of like tight leadership. So that definitely helps a lot in
Mm-hmm.
life,
Right.
being able to navigate and work with another person.
Mm-hmm.
But that also goes back to sports and having brothers growing up. So,
Right. It all ties together. And I
mhm.
would agree with Casey. Like, he's really good at like lighting a fire under you and trying to get you to work and be efficient and like go 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 go. That's just how he is. But I would agree. It's cool, like learning how to wash windows. Dad taught us how to do it growing up, and I came into working with Casey when I already had some skills, but he was able to like working on ladders. That's
Mhm.
something I never was comfortable with, and so like there where you kind of had to in order to reach the windows. Now I'm so comfortable on ladders. I was just putting up my Christmas lights a couple weeks ago. What I got on? I
Let it
was,
out.
put, I was putting up my Christmas lights on the ladder, like hanging there, like with my one arm reaching way out, my leg on the other side, like just doing some crazy sketchy stuff. And it's like I would never been that comfortable had I not
Oh
worked
yeah, you
framed cleaning
definitely done
windows.
some spooky things on ladders, washing
Three
windows.
stories up on Zeus, like the big ladders, like
Yeah, yeah. Two people have to carry it, set it up.
right, that and then when I came back after Sartell, like I was working with him shoveling snow off of roofs. And same thing, like I've never been more comfortable on top of a roof than I am now because I was up there so much shoveling snow that now it's like I can walk up there like it's nothing. And if I start falling or I slide, you just catch yourself and you get right back up.
Yeah, that ladder work for sure helps me today. Like, I'm in construction now, so there's a lot of ladder work and stuff. I remember like my first day, because after Casey, I decided to. Oh yeah, I went to one construction company, left there, subcontracted. Now I'm where I'm at. But my new job, like my first day, I was setting up a ladder, and my boss was like, "Don't do that! Like, don't do that! Your ladder like stopped at the ground." I was like, "I got it." Just like went up it, like it's fine. Like ladders are my friend. I know them.
Right, right,
But
yeah.
yeah, that's everything
So
kind
now
of.
you're at, yeah, it does. So now you're at a construction company. How long have you been there?
I hit a year and the day after Thanksgiving, so like a year and like 2 months, a month and some change.
Right. Do you see yourself there long term, or what do you kind of got stoking up right now? Got any other ideas of maybe is construction something you kind of fell into and you see yourself being there for a long time, or is it just kind of paying the bills right now, kind of a transitional career? Do you have any idea, or I kind of just
Um,
throwing this on you on the spot?
no, no. Right now I definitely see like I could be there long term. I don't really have anything else going on other than joining the military if I decide to do that. But definitely right now it's long term. I mean, I have like other side projects and side missions that I'm doing with some friends, but we'll see if those ever take.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm not trying to leave. I'm not looking to leave, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes.
A lot of people got a little idea who you are. There's something that I noticed the other day that caught my attention on social media as I'm scrolling, and and some people may know what I'm talking about, but it was a picture of you holding your shotgun in a field, and it was a pretty cool picture. Um, and there's a little bit of controversialness to it with you're flipping the bird at the camera, and
Yeah.
it says 2024, this is for you. What inspired that post? What do you think? It was just a cool opportunity. You're like, yeah, this is a pretty neat picture. I'm just gonna post this, or because I feel like there was some passion. I think there was some stuff fueling it behind it. And when I saw that, I was like, this is the kind of energy we need for the show. Like,
Yeah, yeah. You texted me. I was like, yeah, we can bring that heat. We'll do it.
yeah, yeah, like because I just feel like there was a lot there. I think there's a lot to unpack behind it, and maybe there's not. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but what what was going through your mind with that?
2024 was a mental battle. I'd say. It was a year of failures, and like that's pretty much the basis of it. But like there's a lot that goes into it. But mentally for sure it was a rough year. In and out of motivation and in and out of the gym and just partying with the boys too much.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, sometimes you gotta, but there's definitely a lull where you could see it in all of us. Where like, it was like 13 weekends we went out. We're all collectively like, all right, we need to stop. We need to
Mm-hmm.
stop doing that because you're just blowing your money.
Right.
And then, yeah, so after that, we started going back to church, which was kind of sweet, but we've definitely taken a lull on that too, unfortunately. We need to get back in there,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, it was definitely a year of failures, and I don't know, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, so I've
What
been, well, go ahead.
what would you consider a failure as far as the year for 2024?
What would I consider a failure?
Yeah, you said it's a year of failures. So what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
um, how do I gotta think? Well, like not a super significant one is getting my truck totaled,
Mm,
and like yeah, I've nothing I can do about it. Just some girl smoked me, and like my truck's not super expensive, but it was nice to me. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
that's a very like superficial thing, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I've been single for a long time. I don't want to be single anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that that was definitely a struggle. The dating world is a brutal battle.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely rough this year, for sure.
Yeah. So maybe not even. So maybe it wasn't even a failure. Maybe it was more of like stagnant. Maybe it feels like you just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that could be that too. Yeah, for sure.
Does it feel like that at all, or no?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that could be a better terminology than failures. Yeah, stagnant. Just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because like I was talking to the boys the other day. It's like I didn't do anything. I just kind of stayed right where I'm at. Didn't make any progress, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I would
Overall,
say. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you say mentally too. Like, what is obviously everybody's got their stuff that they go through nowadays, but is it like, do you and this if this is getting too deep, like you can tell me to back off, but like when you say you struggled with it mentally, was it just certain things that were going on that kind of guided you into that mind frame, or is it just other things that you were concerned about or worried about? Was it like the future that gets you into that mind frame, worrying about the future, or being concerned with the past? Does that make sense? Where does it kind of stem from you for you?
I don't think it comes from the past. Like the past is over. You can't stress about that. You have to move on from that. But like I think it's definitely like everything snowballs. So like as soon as you're mentally down, it's just one thing after another. Like, oh, work sucked today, so it's just like adds it on to it. Like I didn't go to the gym today. It just adds it on. This person didn't talk to me or didn't, it's like it just.
Mm-hmm.
And that I don't know if that answered your question. If you can repeat it,
It
I'll
does.
let
It
you know.
does. No, it does. And so, what do you do then, or what have you done to try to get out of that mind frame, that snowball? Is there anything you
Gym,
do specifically, Jim?
the gym. If if you want me at my sharpest and at my best, get me out of bed at 5 in the morning and let me go to the gym.
Get me.
That's where I texted you one day and I was just like I've never done drugs like cocaine, so like but that's how like my energy came off of like I got to work and they're like, what is wrong with you? I was like, "God, I've been up since 4. I just had a Red Bull, just crushed my chest and my biceps.
Just high
And I
on
was like,
life.
yeah, I was like, I feel great. Like I'm so much easier to deal with after the gym. And my boss came in, he goes, yeah, you are. I was like, I know, I know I am. But yeah,
uh,
the
and it's
gym for
not that
sure.
right, and it's not that you weren't trying, but it kind of sounds like that, just that wandering, almost not wandering generality, but like you're just kind of existing, going through the motions and trying to figure out life. And when you are putting that intentionality in, and you're getting up and you're going to the gym and you're getting that energy drink right away in the morning, and you're forcing yourself, not forcing yourself, but you're talking to yourself rather than listening to the chatter going on around you, and you're saying, you know what, I'm gonna get out of bed because it makes me feel good. I'm
Mm,
gonna I'm gonna go to the gym because it makes me feel good. Because what you had said was that negative, that mindset where you're in your mental snowball. It starts, oh, I gotta wake up, I gotta go to work. I had a bad day at work. Okay, well now I go home. I'm not gonna go to the gym. Well, now I didn't go to the gym. And there's that snowball of all this stuff that's just kind of like not necessarily victim mentality. I'm not saying that at all, but like just snowballs one thing after another if you continue to let it. And I find myself doing that all the time. Like when Courtney's on like a work trip or something, like the first day that she's gone is awesome because I can get the house to myself, don't have to worry about anything but me. I can lay here all day if I wanted to. I can go to the gym. I could just do this and that. I don't have that responsibility for somebody else. But then day two hits and it's like, well shoot, well now what? And then I start to get into that snowball of like
mm-hmm.
of that unintentional living where I'm like comfortable just laying on the, like I'm getting too comfortable with being comfortable. And I'm
Yeah.
not getting out there out of my comfort zone. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not waking up early in the morning. I'm not drinking all this water. I'm just kind of going through the motions through life, and everything's just kind of coming to me as it is. And I'm like, oh, well, this kind of sucks. Okay. And it's almost like dumpster diving. You throw yourself into the dumpster of your mind and you're just laying there hoping to find some kind of treasure. And unless you're in like like a Cabela's or like a Bass Pro Shop or
Yeah,
something,
you
and
might
maybe you
find
find something good. But
no, I agree with that, and you said it's not like the victim mentality, but at a certain extent it is, because you give in to that. You're like, oh, I'm not good enough for this person. I'm not good enough. I'm too weak to go to the gym today. Like, oh, my arms hurt. Hit your legs. Do something else.
mm-hmm.
Or like, oh, like it's just you do play that game where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm not good enough or whatever and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So it's bad self-talk to talk like that.
100%.
And I do it all the time, unfortunately. But it's hard, and like this was like the Derek White quote that he answered on Instagram was like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that's like, so got out of a long relationship, and that's when I would took a deep dive, and I was kind of questioning a lot of things, and he just randomly popped up on my Instagram, and I was like, oh, I really like this guy. Oh, win the minute, that's cool. Like, started just watching all his videos, sending them to people and stuff, and then he popped up on like ask me a question. So I was like, if we are our own worst enemies, what was it? If we're our own worst enemies, how do we stay out of our own heads? Like, how do you do that? And he sent a pretty fiery comment back, or fiery video, and he was just like, it's dangerous to be in that mindset. He's like, yeah, we are our own worst enemies. He's like, yeah, you're in that. Woe is me. He's like, but you're also your best friend, and sometimes your only friend. And something a lot of times, like when you're in your head, you feel very lonely and you're in a dark spot. And you're like, it's just me. Like, I'm on my own. But like, you are your best friends. Like, give yourself credit. You care. You get up. You go to work. It's like, you gotta give yourself credit even when you're down.
Mm-hmm.
And that really was like, all right, you're 100% right. Then it got tattooed on me. But it's like a lot of times, like I was talking to one of my buddies the other day. He was like, I think it was Grant. It might have been Grant. But I was asking him questions like, why is this happening? Why can't I figure this out? And he's like, he said something. He's like, take a look at your chest, dude. And I did. And I was like, dude, like, I have all these tattoos on me, like heads down, eyes up. Like, keep going. Like, win the minute. And I was like, I don't even follow what's literally stuck on my skin. And it was kind of like an eye opener. I was like, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right about that. Like, I do have to slow down. Stop trying to win life so fast. I'm 23. It just takes a minute to do it. You know, just
Mm-hmm.
it adds up. Snowballs are negative, or negative snowballs get bigger just as positive ones do. So
Mm-hmm. Preach. That's a good analogy. I had never thought of that.
yeah,
Normally I think of things snowballing. It's like, okay, yeah, we're going. It's bad.
no,
You never
100%.
think of things snowballing for the better.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's powerful stuff. Like, yeah, I don't even know really where to go. Like, that's because when you are in those times and you think, I'm my own worst enemy, because that's what it is. It's and I've heard this a couple times before, and this guy has said it too. The battle between your ears, that's like the biggest battle you're gonna face, in my opinion. Like, day in and day out. Like, the first thing you do when you wake up and you see your alarm sitting there, it's not a battle between you and the alarm. It's the battle inside your mind between your ears. Going, am I gonna hit snooze on this thing, or am I just gonna get out of bed and tell my inner self to shut up and like leave me alone, and like, or whatever else you want to say to it in that moment, probably a little more aggressive,
Yeah.
and
No, I
like,
didn't. No, sorry. Go ahead.
and then, and it just, like you said, it just continues to snowball. Like, you can look at your alarm clock and choose to hit snooze and let it beat you, and all of a sudden you're rushing to get to work now, and like, oh crap, I got 10 minutes to get ready when normally I have 45 minutes, and I got to shower. Am I gonna be able to shower? No, I can't shower. I don't have enough time. Oh
Mm-hmm.
crap, I didn't brush my teeth, or I'm gonna try to throw my lunch together here, and I'm just throwing chips and random crap in there. Then you get to work and maybe you're late, and now you got that looming over your head, and like, then it's just snowballs, bad, 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 bad. But if you do get up, win that battle between your ears first thing off the bat, get those little wins, kind of like I talked about my last podcast with Kenny, about getting those wins, like starting your day off with wins, whether it's making your bed, whether it's hitting that, that alarm clock, that opportunity clock that Zig Ziglar calls it, and it's just going to continue to snowball in the right direction. It's not going to be through the woods in some path. It's going to be going down here, and you're going to be able to continue to build off of it. It gets to the bottom of the hill, you have a big snowball. What can you do with that? You can, the next day there's going to be another one. You can pile it on top of that and make a beautiful snowman. Like, it's just,
Mm-hmm.
that's an awesome analogy. That just because something's snowballing, is like, you have the opportunity to what it picks up.
Mm-hmm.
There could be the yellow snow, the snow that has a bunch of dog poop in it, or is it going to be the nice fluffy snow? Like, that you get to choose where your snowball, what you're picking up in your snowball.
Yeah.
And we don't
It's
have
all.
we don't have any snow here either, so it's kind of
No,
sad.
there's no snow. No snow. No snow. Yeah, it's 100% all in your head. And like you, you know about anxiety and depression just as much as I do. But like I've never gone to like a therapist or anybody.
Hmm.
It's like I've had conversations with people before about this, and I'm like, it's probably controversial because like some people are like, but I it's all in my head. It's like if I can't fix it, then what am I how do I do that? But yeah, it's a dumb way to look at it. Cause like yeah, you can easily go talk to somebody about it. They're
Right.
probably gonna figure it out. But you're like, no, it's in my brain.
Hmm.
How can I not fix that? You
Right.
can definitely wander off that path, and like I have my people like you, like I talk to you or Cody or like other people,
Hmm.
and that brings up another analogy. I think I brought it up on the Dry Fire podcast or like at coffee one day, where that guy was stuck in the pit. Do you remember what I'm talking about? But there's a guy he's stuck in a deep hole, and he's yelling for help. Like I can't get out. I don't know how to get out. And his pastor walks by. He's like, "Hey, pastor, like, can you help me out of here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll pray for you." So he's like, "All right." So he prays for him. He's like, "Yeah, thank you, appreciate that, but I'm still in the hole." He's like, "Yeah, like, yes." He walks away. So then the doctor comes, and he's like, "Hey, doc, like, can you help me out of here?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I got you." Writes him a prescription, throws it down to him, and walks away. He's just like, "Well, that didn't help at all." Like, I appreciate it, but I'm still in this hole. And then his buddy comes and he's like, "Yo, I can't remember her name, but Johnny, I'm stuck down here. Can you please help me out?" And he hops down in there with him. And he's like, "Dude, what are you doing? Now you're stuck in here." He's like, "No, dude, I've been here before. I'm gonna get you out." And that I remember that was on a Derek White podcast too. And I was like, holy crap. Like that you're like, yeah, I'm a true believer in Jesus Christ. Doctors are great for you, but there's like the brotherhood. Everything goes back to brotherhood. Like a lot of like some people have gone through things that you have gone through, even if you think you're alone.
Hmm.
And sometimes you just got to reach out. Hey, I'm stuck down here.
I think that's a stigma, especially around men, around men who are, you're a construction worker, you're a man. You go in there and you build houses. You don't have time to deal with your emotions. And I think a lot of people, especially men, and in my career field as well, in corrections and in jail, it's like I don't have time to deal with that. And I think it's a very negative thing. People don't reach out to others, because they think, well, what's he going to think about me? And sometimes when somebody is vulnerable like that and they reach out to you, that's stronger than if you were to, lift 1,000 pounds over your head. Like to take that step to say I need help and to reach out to somebody, like that's awesome. And it's really cool, that analogy of somebody being in the hole and then your friend jumping down in there with you. It's like now we're both here. We're gonna figure out how to get you out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's steps to take after that, and maybe that hitting that rock bottom, maybe you kind of figure out your way out of the hole, and maybe at that point it's talking to somebody to try to get through your thoughts. And because I have talked to a therapist before, and she was really able to help me think of, and I like what you said, and I misunderstood you at first, but I picked up on what you were saying. They're in my head, so I can figure it out myself. It
Yeah.
wasn't that. It's in my head. Why can't I not figure this out on my own when it's me? Why can't I see what it is?
Yeah.
And when we do talk to those people, they have a really good ability at helping us get to the root of why we are thinking that way. And like for me, it was getting back to, I really enjoy being around people and having like growing up, I wanted everybody to like me. Like I was a people pleaser. And like I think it goes back to, like, I remember one time mowing the lawn and at grandpa's, and I didn't want to disappoint dad. And I was just a little kid, but I remember like I was going out of the lines and he was like, "What are you doing?" And like I was like got so upset that I didn't even want to do it anymore because I didn't want him to be upset or disappointed in me. And like so I think that translated, so many years later on, as I'm in an FTO or as in a squad car with another guy next to me, it's like I don't want to let this person down. I don't want to think I'm a failure. I don't want my dad or my father-in-law, my wife. I don't want these people to think I'm a failure as a police officer. And it just like you said, snowballed negatively to the point where it's like, well, why are these thoughts coming into my mind? I'm thinking that I'm not a good enough man. I'm not good enough. I'm not adding up to be the man that I need to be a police officer. And like this lady was able to help me figure out, like, it's not that you're not fit. It's not that you don't have the skills and the ability to be a police officer or a deputy or whatever it is. It's that you don't have that belief in yourself that you can do it. You're too focused on what everybody else thinks about you. So now we got to figure out what's causing that. And so she was able to help me get through all of that, and then I ended up going to my pastor, talking to him about trying to get into my faith more, and then, getting into the gym, like mentally, physically, spiritually, like all those three things to help us stay out of the hole. But
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to get out of the hole unless you reach out to somebody. And sometimes that's reaching out to a brother or a sister or whoever it may be. And that's a beautiful analogy of, and it's a good reminder too, to be looking out for those holes and where, your friends are at. Feel like, hey, where the heck is Johnny at? And maybe he's right next to you, but he's not being the same as he normally is. Like, where's Johnny at? It's like, well, maybe he's in a hole. Maybe he needs you to jump down there with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome that you brought that up, because it's a good reminder for me, like, to keep an eye out on my friends, my family, people that I'm working with, people that I'm working for. It's like, he's acting different. Where'd he go? Where'd she go? She's not the same person. He's not the same person. Maybe he's in a hole somewhere and he needs me to jump down there with him. Like, that's really cool. I'm actually gonna write that down.
Well, yeah, I think I brought it up at coffee a while ago, but I can't remember.
I think you did. You did. We got to get back into that.
I know, it's fun. I only went to it like twice, but.
So 2024, we talked about, the negatives of it. Were there any, positives? Like, how do you, moving forward, do you have some stuff in your mind of okay, 2024 is done, I'm flipping you off, thanks for nothing. Or maybe it's thanks to the bulls that buck me off kind of mentality. I'm going to move forward into 2025. What are you planning to do in 2025, especially in the beginning here, to kind of make sure that it doesn't go the way that 2024 did in your mind, with it being stagnant, or with, the different failures that you said? What's your plan?
I think I definitely got to focus on, like, I think we talked about this a while ago, and I think it was when I was on that gym high at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I said, if who's gonna love me if I can't even love myself? I think, is that what I said?
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely gotta work some damage in myself, figure that out, go from there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's probably gonna be a year of working on me, growing, gym.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to read more, read the Bible more, do my devotionals, journal more. Because I was on a kick for like a month. We're at gym every day. Then I go home, read a couple chapters of a book, any book, and then I would journal. But a couple of them were, like 3 of them were devotionals, and then one of them was like what was it called? I can't remember. But it was like life.
Mm-hmm.
A life book. So that helps a lot. And it kind of like when your brain is like jumbling around, it's nice to like sit down, because you control what goes on the paper. Like, you're able to write, instead of like listening to all the voices in your head, you're writing down. You're putting pen to paper. It's you have a conscious, or what am I trying to say?
Yeah, you're making a conscious choice as to what you're listening to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So I definitely want to do that more.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. I've wanted to journal more. I keep saying this, and I probably said this 20 times on this show, but journaling is something I really want to get into. And you just pointed out a really good analogy. Like, yeah, everything's jumbled up in your mind and you don't know what to listen to. You're having that battle between your ears. And when you're writing down, like, your pen isn't moving, like saying, you're a loser. You suck. You can't do this. You're not a good dad. You're not a good husband. You're not a good brother. Like, but you get to control what you want to sort through in your mind and put it on paper. And that's the stuff that you read. That's the stuff that you follow for the rest of the day. It's like, no, I'm putting this pen to paper because my mind isn't controlling me. I am. Like, that's a sick analogy.
And yeah, it's. I think it might have been you or someone else, but they were like, at the end of everything, it was Martin, I think. At the end of your journaling, he was like, write something that you like want to work on, or like what you were looking forward to. He's like, have like 3 questions or something like that. And then he's like, you can look back at it like a month later, like how are your questions changing? How is your life changing? Are you fixing these? or are you addressing these questions that you have?
Mhm.
So it's definitely interesting. I should definitely look back at it because I did it for a while, but I should definitely get back into it.
I had one too for a little bit when I was in Sartell when I was trying to get through my thoughts. Mom came over one day and she put a big binder together, and it's actually sitting right in my closet. Courtney found it the other day. And it just kind of talks about stuff that I wrote down everything that I was going through. So a lot of it's just negative because that was my lowest point mentally. But like just getting your words out there and reading what you're thinking sometimes too, it can be like, why am I thinking this way?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm not really big on New Year's resolutions, but whatever you call them, I think one thing I really want to start working on is journaling, and maybe we could help each other out with that.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe at the end of the week, just kind of touch base and see where we're at with our journaling, and um, I don't know, that could be really cool. I would like your what do you call it? Not accreditation, not accommodation, not appreciation. It's
Oh,
like
you're getting there.
something
You're getting there. Say it again.
accountability.
Accountability, yeah. I knew you were getting close.
Oh, I was like, it's one of these words. Oh, yes. Yeah, accountability. Thank you for your patience, everybody, on that one. But yeah, just hold each other accountable when it comes to journaling. I think that'd be sweet. That's just one, because like I said, and I think you would agree that the battle between the years is where it all starts. And when you can hone in on that and not let them control you, but you take the reins and you say, guess what? And it just reminded me of an NF song. Can't remember which one it is, but he's talking about all the stuff going on in his head, and at the end, it's like, I'm taking the, and he stops, goes, reigns. Like he's controlling his life at this point. Like I'm not gonna, and it's not even you're controlling your life because I'm a man of faith as well, and I think God really helps guide your life, and like He has been a lot more than I can ever explain, and friends and family too. Like they really help go like make you into who you are. But when you take the reins of your own life, it's letting go of what other people think about you and it's focusing on you not first because I'm a others first kind of guy, but there's a healthy balance.
Can we take a time out quick? I gotta pee so bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Whew. I feel like a brand new man.
That's all super good stuff, man. I got some really good notes on this, and some of the biggest things I think going back to it is positive snowballs. Look for the positive snowballs in the snow that you're picking up. Avoid the yellow snow, obviously, as they say. Holes. Keep an eye out for holes and maybe who is in one. Maybe you got to jump down there in with somebody, and don't be afraid to reach out to somebody, yell out for somebody if you are in one. And then another big thing is that pen to paper, because when you're putting pen to paper, you're taking the control, you're taking the reinforcements and the artillery away from the enemy in that battle between your ears. You get to choose what thoughts come out when you are writing them down. They don't get to choose that. So whatever you're writing down, that can be your truth. And maybe you're writing down some messed up stuff, and maybe you need to have somebody else take a look at it, because I don't think our own thoughts are gospel. I think it's important to listen to kind of what we got going on, pick and choose, and if something doesn't look right, ask questions, or that's when you reach out to a pastor or somebody that you look up to, like a role model. And kind of finishing up, you kind of talked about role models a little bit in the beginning. You kind of talked about Derek Woida a little bit. Was there any other people that you kind of look up to right now and that you're going to kind of be watching or kind of following as you navigate through 2025 to kind of help you be your best self?
Yeah, Derek White is definitely a big one, like right now, with fitness and stuff, and just life in general. Because you think about like, he's like, I'm just a Midwest boy that does construction. My life's not that bad, But in the brain, you think it is. But you're like, if he can go overseas and fight for the country and lose a leg, you're like, I should be able to get up and go to the gym in the morning,
Right.
So he's definitely a big one. Chris Paranto is another one. He was in the Benghazi attack in the 13 Hours movie. He's another one I look up to a lot for just like he's got through a lot of stuff too. And again, I look at it and go, it's not that bad. But him, yeah, well, it's really not that bad. Dude, I watched 4.5 hour podcast of him on YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was so mad, just so mad about the whole situation. And then
Right.
watched the movie right after it. And I was texting Grant. I was like, dude, if you haven't seen this movie, you need to go watch it again because it's phenomenal. And I'm pissed, but I'm gonna go to bed now.
Right. It provides a lot of passion. It gets that fire fueled in you, and I don't ever want this to happen again
hmm
to anybody. How can we? And it's tough to because we don't have that kind of control over a situation kind of like that.
No, not at
But
all.
but maybe it's impacting your realm of your sphere of influence or the people around you to help make sure that something
Mhm.
like that doesn't happen in the future. This is getting kind of off track a little bit. But I was listening to Zig Ziglar in an audiobook today as I was walking the dogs. Um, I posted it on Snapchat, walking the dogs, and Ethan was like, "So it's just squeaky shoes today. There's no music now because I always post a song." But yeah, anyway, I was like, "Yeah, my headphones are in." But Zig Ziglar talks about in the episode that I was listening to, like kids are pretty much a letter to the future that we won't to a world that we won't have the opportunity to live in.
hmm
So like even after you're gone, like how you carry yourself, people are gonna look up to you. What you get through adversity and how you handle that. Like people are gonna watch you, and it doesn't matter if you're president of the United States. Obviously, you're gonna have a little more sphere of influence at that. But like even when you're here, like younger generations, younger kids around you, you don't know where they're gonna end up going, and like any good positive thing that you have to pass on to them, like you're just writing a letter to the future generations of this is what I struggled with, this is how I got through it, take it and maybe you can learn something from it. So that even that just a little bit of sphere of influence, we don't know what that's going to impact moving forward in the future. And like these guys like Derek Woida and what'd you say,
Chris Peranto, yeah.
Chris Peranto, like he has no idea, they don't know who you are and they don't understand the impact that you're having because of their story.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was thinking. Because like I have, like he's tattooed. That's him. He has
In the
yeah,
minute.
he
Mm-hmm.
has no idea who I am, and like I didn't get this tattooed on me for him, but it was like that what I was going through then. That just that one video like meant enough for me to get it permanently tattooed on my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably never ever know who I am. And that's fine. Like I didn't do it for him. I did it for me and like what it
Right.
meant to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like another thing. Like when I brought up role models before we started, and like who you look up to now than you did like back then. It's very different and very like strange because like growing up, like I said, like we look up to Brett Favre or Adrian Peterson. But then you like okay, like they just play football. They're great at it, but that doesn't apply. Like you can't apply that to your life. Like this motivational speaker now, or you know.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting how those like relate to your life at those times because like yeah, my role model growing up was Chad Greenway because I was so excited to watch him play at football on Sundays and he'd tackle people and whatnot. It's like, oh, I want to be just like him, I want to do that because you want to you kind of relate with it in a way. Like growing up playing football in the backyard, yeah, we wanted to be like Brett Favre and Adrian Peterson because they were really good at what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And even like I think law enforcement too, when you think about it, like I wanted to be a cop too because I think I wanted to be what I saw in dad. Like I
Mm-hmm.
want to be that hero to somebody else. I want to help people. I want to make somebody feel the way that I felt when I saw him come in the door. So I think that's kind of how we kind of relate. And as we get older and as we get into life, we start to look at up to people like who've been through some stuff. And you mentioned the two people you mentioned were military, right? The second guy
Yeah.
was
Yep. Yep.
military, and they've been through some stuff. And you know, it's easy to admire and it's easy to look after people who have been through some stuff and chose to continue to fight through it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like if they can do it, like you said, if Derek Woida can go to battle and lose a limb, like who's to say that I can't get out of bed, tell this alarm clock to F off and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna make
Yeah. For
and then I'm
sure.
gonna do something about it. And sometimes you get motivated too when you think about the people that didn't make it back from from war, from battle, or the law enforcement officers or the people that aren't able to be here anymore to do that. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna get up and go to the gym because this guy can't, because he
Mhm.
died for his country or because he died protecting this family or this school. Like I'm gonna go do that because they can't anymore. Like that sometimes isn't enough motivation for me to be like, what am I doing? Like I'm drinking 3 energy drinks, like wasting away my body when I should be drinking water. I should be taking care of myself because these guys can't anymore because they sacrificed their lives for me. So it's deep. Role models are really important, especially when you can look at people who have been through some stuff and help you get through some stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's and it sucks too when you see the wrong people getting recognized for different things. And we're not going to go down that rabbit trail. I don't know if that'll even be able to be posted, but like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Why is Derek Wood? Yeah, he lost a leg. Why is he not being recognized the same way that some of these people who are just actors,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
actors or movie stars or singers? Like, I don't know. It's I was listening to a thing the other day about being humble and having humility. And a lot of times people say it's when you're talking too good about yourself, and it's like, well, no, I don't. People say they get an award or something, and they go, oh, I'm not that great. Like they talk down about themselves. They think that's humility or humbleness. When in reality, it's when you talk about others more. When you don't even talk about yourself at all, you're not even in the conversation. When you talk about helping other people more than trying to boost up yourself or boost up or even talk down on yourself, thinking like, oh, no, I'm not that great. Like it's like that's not humility. That's what humility is focusing on other people and trying to make a difference in their lives. And sometimes that's when other things follow. Good things will follow when you start to, because I think it also takes it off your own mind. And you're trying to live up to this idea that you have in your mind of this person that you're going to be. And when you're more focused on helping those other people in that pit you talked about, that hole, just kind of like Derek Woida, he'll even come on there and be like, I'm depressed AF, man. Like, but
Oh,
here we are at the gym. Like, we just got to keep going.
yeah.
And when you
Yeah.
can follow people like that, like who are just real, authentic, like that's cool. There's nothing cooler. It really has a lot more deeper meaning than being a Swiftie. No offense to Taylor Swift or her fans, or like it's just
Yeah.
they get recognition for the wrong things sometimes. When you
Mhm.
got people out here that really should get that recognition, but
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. I could talk all night about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. For sure.
So to wrap it up, I got just a couple fun little questions for you. I'm gonna make this kind of like a 2-point question because I really like mixed martial arts. Big UFC fan, obviously. If you were in the UFC and you had to choose a walkout song, this may be the same song, but
Yeah.
either that or when you go to the gym to work out, what's the song that gets you going? What's one of the ones that's just like, all right, I need to get in my groove. This is my walkout song. Here we go.
My walkout song in the UFC, you already know this. It would be "Lambs and Lions" by Chase Rice. That one is just so sick, and I have heads down, eyes up tattooed on my arm. So obviously he's another guy I look up to a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
that's number one. um, gym music is very different. It depends on like how I go into it. If I'm pissed, like it's gonna be like Scream, like Limp Bizkit. But
Palisades or
yeah,
Breaking Benjamin. Get some rock and
yeah,
roll
like
going.
if I'm like in a sad mood, I'd probably listen to NF.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm like in a decent mood, EDM. Sometimes I just
Yeah.
bump out to that.
Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus.
No, actually not. Not that. No, and then, like sometimes when I'm just, like chilling, if I'm just like on the treadmill, like I'll just like hit shuffle and like listen. There was one time I was working out with Aaron, and he's like, "You gonna skip the song?" I was like, "What do you mean?" And I was so zoned out. Phillips Craig and Dean was just blasted, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll skip it. I'm sorry." He was like, "I love the song, but like we're at the gym right now." I was like, "Yes,
Were you
man."
sharing that? Were you sharing headphones or something or what?
Yeah, yeah, you had like the left one in. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Oh, good answers. Another one. What's your favorite color
Favorite color.
and why? The why is important, I think. Maybe you don't want. Maybe you don't know why.
I got a couple. Like probably like my two favorite right now. Like I really like greens, like OD green.
Mm-hmm.
I love maroon. But
Maroon.
like so I OD green like camos and stuff. I'm a big hunter, so I love camo.
Mm-hmm.
Maroon. I just love maroon.
When you think of the color maroon, what are you picturing in your mind? What is it on?
When it was on,
If you think of just prime maroon, what are you seeing? What are you seeing?
it's just, my gorgeous future wife's nails.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
mm-hmm.
That you pulled that out of the treasure chest. I was not expecting that. Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes me I feel no, I feel the passion and the fire behind that.
I love maroon.
That was a fantastic answer. I don't think I've asked that question a couple times and I think that one takes the cake. Um and since you're in construction, what is your favorite tool at work? Like what is one tool that you think that you just can't live without?
My favorite tool. Hmm. My favorite tool. I remember me and Caleb talked about this on the Drive for our podcast, and it was a skill set back then, but it was just me and like two other guys, so I was always cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can't live without a hammer or tape. I don't know. It's a good question. My pencil. You can't do anything
Trusty
without your
pencil.
pencil. The trusty
Yeah.
pencil. Yeah. I don't
You have a
know.
you have a little sharpener too, or you just
I do have one now, yeah, because I had like the normal carpentry pencils, like the squares,
yep.
and then I got this mechanical one. It's called a Pico. It was awesome, and then I lost it. Now it's back in my tool belt, but and then we went to like number two pencils. Those are like they're great for like finishing, like finish work, but I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
go back and forth in between them. But you really can't do anything without a pencil, so
That's a good answer.
guess hammer. I don't know. The lull, the lift, so you don't have to lift everything. Hey,
Uh,
whenever we crack out the lull for trusses, I call myself the truss wrangler because I'm the guy that holds the rope, make sure it doesn't hit the guys. But that's
nice.
fun.
That's
Yanking on it. There's been a couple close calls. Almost got squished last year, but
yeah, don't do that.
no.
That's where the pencil comes in handy, so you can like wedge it up between the wall and whatnot, so it stops it.
Yeah, it stops stops it from crushing me.
Great answers. Yeah, those are just a couple rapid fire, just a quick little shooter ones. But thanks for coming on, buddy. Yeah, it's time flies when you're chatting with somebody, especially when it's some meaningful stuff. And I wasn't really sure what to expect because we talk quite a bit. So it's like, how do we, what do we pull out of
But it's
this?
definitely hard to like think of stuff. I guess like stuff that we've never talked about
Mm-hmm.
or get deeper than like obviously you can't really get deeper than conversations we've had before.
Right. Right.
But
And that's the thing too. I mean, it's a podcast; it's out there for everybody to hear. But for me, it's like if somebody wants to hear more about a story or they want to like to dive deep into something else about or an opinion or something, like I'm more than willing to reach out to them or have them reach out to me after the fact. And maybe that's somebody listening right now want to know, deeper into what Jonas has going on or what he's thinking about. But like I said at the beginning, I think this is a cool episode because you're kind of that person that's right in the middle of life. You're just trying to figure things out, and people, that's everybody. You grow up and you look at your parents thinking they have it all together, and really they're just kids who got older and they're trying to figure it out too. Like there's no like timeline. There's no like you're gonna figure it out when you get to 27. That's when it goes ding. My purpose. Here I am. Like
yeah, I hope so, right?
right. It's just not how it works. So it's just
Oh,
continually to learn, and you're kind of that guy that's right in the middle of trying to, figure out what you want to do and putting plans into place. I think there's something a lot to be said with that. I think there's a lot of people that can relate to that. So it's cool to have you on. So I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Got anything else you want to say to the masses before you depart? Where can they find you? You put anything out these days?
I don't know. Instagram, it's just Jonas Boelter. Jonas JONASBOELTER. But I'm private, so you're gonna have to request.
Got to get that special access.
Yeah, you gotta get that special access to see my 2024 posts.
And the 2025, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2025, it's gonna be much different.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
see that 2024 post and the 2025 post. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be really cool to see the comparison. Maybe it'll be two, and maybe it'll be something different. You never know.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really cool that we finally got a chance to get you on here and let people see your face. And we got big things coming. Things are just going to keep coming. And,
yeah. Hopefully we get the Wi-Fi boosted at home, so I don't have to drive to Grants. But it's a nice little setup.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. All right, buddy. Thanks again. And thank you again, everybody, for tuning into the Iron Purpose podcast. See you next time. Bye, Jonas.
Bye.